my birthday. I'm not doing anything this week. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna drink my Pepsi, eat my tasty macaroons. Virgil, did you just throw something at me?
Oh, it's Kids Corner time. That's a problem. Shh. Okay, so, hi everybody. Welcome to TBC Kids Corner. Shh. Welcome to TBC Kids Corner. I hope you guys didn't see that. That was awkward. Oh no, I forgot about the Kids Corner. I don't have anything prepared. What, Virgil? What? Oh, you wrote me a note. You can teach. Virgil, please. I have 2 master's degrees from Dallas Theological Seminary. I have 18 years of experience teaching children. How could you possibly teach to my caliber? What's that? Humility. What do you mean I'm not humble? I'm the most humble. Actually, I don't even know what that means, but it seems to be the word of this week is humility. Virgil, you think you can tell me what that means? What? Oh, a Bible verse. Great. Thanks. I'll look that up. Don't worry about it, you great teacher. Let's see. Philippians 2:3 is in the Old Testament, written by Paul. Oh, there's so many books in here. Philippians 2:3. Don't do anything only to get ahead. Don't do it because you are proud. Instead, be humble. Value others more than yourselves. That's great. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. You want me to put others before myself? How does that help me with the lesson for the Kids Corner? Did you actually write a lesson? Think of others as better than yourself. I guess that's humility. Humility is thinking of others as better than yourself. But just read the rest. You wrote me a tiny book. All right. Lesson on humility brought to you by Itty Bitty Virgil. Being humble or showing humility doesn't mean you're weak. I didn't think I was weak. Being humble means you are more like Jesus. Okay, all right, yeah. Just do the experiment while I write the lesson. You haven't written the lesson yet? You wanted to teach and you haven't written the lesson yet? All right, we're gonna do a little experiment and Virgil's gonna write the lesson and we will come back together and talk about what humility means. So today's experiment isn't gonna be an experiment as much as it is watching Miss Liz completely fail at making something I'm sure you all have made over and over again with great success. We're gonna try making fluorescent slime. Let's get started. So the recipe I found called for about 2 cups of clear glue, some of this liquid starch, about 1/3 cup. I like fluffy slime, so I grabbed some shaved foam. Gonna need about 1 cup of that. And the most important ingredient, some fluorescent paint. Now I already have the glue poured in here, and I'm gonna add a few drops of the fluorescent paint. I didn't mean for it to match my nails, but I decided to go for it. So I'm gonna pop that in there and mix it up really well with a giant popsicle stick. And let's speed this up a little bit. So I'm basically turning the glue pink. And I'm kind of digging it. So once I think that's mixed up, I'm going to put the shaving foam into my glue mixture. Fun fact, I smelled like old man for the rest of the day. It was awesome. So putting this in here, making sure I get all of it, and we're gonna mix that in really well. You can see it goes from kind of a fluorescent pink to more of a bubblegum pink, but it's still going to do what I want it to do in the black light. So I'm gonna mix that up, try to get as much of it in there and incorporated as I can before I put in the liquid starch. I'm going to pour that in, and this is going to cause the reaction that kind of makes it clump together and turn into kind of a semi-solid instead of a just pure liquid. Or at least that's what it's supposed to do. I don't know what I did wrong. It started to clump up and it started to look like slime, but it was so sticky. It was so sticky. So I thought, okay, maybe I need to use my hands, knead it up a little bit with my hands. I've seen that done online. It was in the recipe to knead it with your hands. So here I go, shoving my hand in it. And it is not getting less sticky. It wants to eat my hand. It is trying to suck me in. So I pull it out and I try both hands, and I've basically made sticky gloves for myself. I can't get it off my hands, and after a few minutes of doing this, I just start laughing because this is slime, yes, but it's not fun slime that I can play with. So this is me trying to get it off my hands and obviously not winning. So I'm gonna go wash my hands and I come back and let's try just a little more of the starch. Maybe that will help. Mix that in. All right, okay. Looking a little less liquidy, a little more slimy. I also figure maybe I should take it out of the container, try some parchment paper. Don't try to use parchment paper with slime, because guess what? Slime sticks to parchment paper. Yeah, it kind of it was a mess. It was a mess, guys. I'm sorry. I tried. I'm sure you could do so much better. So if you decide to make some slime and make it fluorescent, send me a video of you making the slime, or tell me what I may have done wrong, because I tried this recipe twice with different amounts and tried to tweak it, and it just wouldn't happen. I ended up with not quite oobleck. It was just so sticky. So I yelled at my husband to come in and help me because I didn't feel like washing my hands again. But I really wanted to see what it looked like under the UV light, because it looks very bubblegum pink. But under the UV light, it fluoresced just like I wanted it to. That's Daniel. So under the light, it goes from looking like this bubblegum pastel pink to this like almost toxic neon fluorescent pink. And I love it. I feel like a monster. I just rawr. Anyway, so did I make slime? Yeah, I made fluorescent slime, but is it slime that I could play with? Yes. Okay, I didn't fail completely, but I know you guys can do better. So I'm gonna go clean this up, yeah. Let's see what Virgil has in store for us with the story today. All right, let's go. The story that Virgil has picked for us today to learn a little bit more about humility comes from the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. This is a parable that Jesus used to teach the people around him. A parable is an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. So as you listen to this story, I want you to try to think of what Jesus is really trying to teach us about God and about ourselves. So one day, Jesus was teaching his people, and an authority of the law, someone who didn't really believe Jesus was who he said he was, tried to put Jesus to the test. "Teacher," he asked, "what must I do to receive eternal life?" "What is written in the law?" Jesus replied. "How do you understand it?" You know what the Old Testament says. What are you supposed to do?" The man answered, "Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself." "You have answered correctly," Jesus replied. "Do that, and you'll have eternal life." But the man wanted to make himself look good, so he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied with a parable. A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho. Robbers attacked him. They stripped off his clothes and beat him. Then they went away, leaving him almost dead on the side of the road. A priest, someone who serves God professionally, happened to be going down the same road. When he saw the man, he passed by on the other side of the road. He didn't stop to see if the man was okay. He actually walked across the street to go past him without even looking. Also, a Levite came by, another man who has devoted his life to God. He also saw the man on the side of the road, and when he saw him, he also passed by on the other side of the road, just like the priest. Two people who claimed to follow and live for God saw this man on the side of the street and crossed away from him to keep going to where they were going. But a Samaritan came to the place where the man was. Now, here's the backstory. Samaritans and Israelites were not friends. They did not like each other. They weren't supposed to talk to each other or do anything that involved each other. But this Samaritan was very special. When he saw the man, he felt sorry for him. He went to him, poured olive oil and wine on his wounds to clean them, and then bandaged them. Then he put the man on his own donkey. He took him to an inn and took care of him. The next day, he took out 2 silver coins, gave them to the owner of the inn, and said, "Take care of him. When I return, I will pay you back any extra expense you may have." He gave the innkeeper money and said, "Take care of him, and when I come back, I'll pay you the rest, whatever it costs. Just make sure this man is okay." Once Jesus had finished the story, he looked at the guy who was trying to catch him off guard and said, "Which of the 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by robbers?" The authority of the law replied, "The one who felt sorry for him, the Samaritan." Jesus said, "Good job. Now go and do what he did." I think I see where you're going with this one, Virgil. I'll take it from here. Don't hurt yourself with that giant pencil. I got it. So Jesus tells us the story of the Good Samaritan. In this story, he shows us who is not humble and who is, who shows humility and who doesn't. The first 2 men, the priest and the Levite, they don't even help the guy. They don't even want to be around him. They cross the street and keep walking. The Samaritan sees the man, sees his need, and even though obviously he has somewhere to go, he has a donkey, he's on the road, heading one way, he stops and he puts the well-being of this man on the side of the road above his own well-being. He doesn't know if the thieves are still around. He doesn't know if he's going to get robbed. He doesn't even know if this man is going to live or die. But he takes the time and puts him on his donkey and takes him to an inn. And it doesn't stop there. He doesn't just dump the guy and run. He stays with him. And then he pays the innkeeper money to take care of the man until he's better. The Samaritan was humble. He obviously had the money and he obviously had the time and the energy. But instead of taking it all for himself, he put this other man's well-being above his. He cared for him. Jesus is trying to teach us with this story that we should be more like the Samaritan. And the neighbor is anybody, anyone in our lives who we love, or even those we don't even know. So one of the ways that we can put others' needs above our own right now during this coronavirus is to wear a mask. I know they're not very comfortable and sometimes it feels like it's just sucking to your face, but you're doing it to take care of others. You're doing it to love those around you because you see them as being better than yourself. You want them to be happy and healthy and live a good, happy, long life. And the way we can do that is by wearing a mask. It's really simple. So we should be more like the Samaritan. We should put others above ourselves and be humble. That way, when things get dark and scary, we will fluoresce with the love of Jesus. So that's your challenge for this week, to see others as being even better than yourself or treating them better as yourself. Or if that's a little too much to ask, let's go down to the baseline and say, let's treat others like we want to be treated. So if you wouldn't want someone to take the last piece of cake from you, why would you take the last piece of cake from someone else? Or if someone is mad at you or you're mad at them, you wouldn't want to be yelled at, so why would you yell at someone else? Take the time to step back and think, how would I want to be treated in this situation? And then treat others that way. So when people look at you, they'll see, oh, this person's different. They're very humble. I wonder what's going on. And you can say it's Jesus. He taught us how to fluoresce even when things look bad and things look scary. So that's it for this week. Thanks, Virgil, for helping me out with that lesson. I'm going to go back to eating some cake and some macarons and drinking Pepsi and relaxing because birthday week. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week and we will see you later. Bye.
Oh, Mushu, Wolverine, isn't it just a lovely day for a picnic?
Yeah, bub.
I think it's the best.
Quack.
Oh goodness, why did it get so dark? Wait, what's that? No!